The year is 541 CE. The Eastern Roman Empire, now known as the Byzantine Empire, stands at the pinnacle of its power. Emperor Justinian I reigns from Constantinople, a beacon of civilization, yet a storm gathers on the horizon, a plague unlike any other. This is the story of Justinian's plague, a pandemic so devastating it would reshape the course of history. Imagine a world without warning, where death arrives silently on ships. The Plague of Justinian, named for the emperor who ruled during its terror, erupts into the bustling port of Pelusium, Egypt. Within months, this unseen enemy will engulf the empire and beyond. This plague, we now know, was caused by Yersinia pestis, the same bacterium responsible for the Black Death centuries later. Its arrival in Constantinople was not a matter of if, but when. Trade, the lifeblood of the empire, would also become its downfall, carrying the plague from the edges of the known world to the heart of Byzantium. The origins of the plague are shrouded in mystery, but historians believe it emerged from East Africa or Central Asia. Grain ships, vital for feeding Constantinople's vast population, became unwitting carriers of disease. Infected rats harboring plague-carrying fleas scurried aboard these vessels, their fate entwined with that of an empire. From Pelusium, the plague races northward, following the Nile River, a watery highway into the heart of Egypt. Alexandria, a jewel of learning and commerce, becomes an early victim. The plague spares no one, rich and poor, young and old, all succumb to its gruesome embrace. Imagine the fear, the desperation as people die within days of showing symptoms. Fever, chills, swollen lymph nodes, and eventually a gruesome death. The speed and ferocity of the plague terrify the empire, fueling panic and despair. Constantinople, a city of immense wealth and splendor, becomes a breeding ground for disease. The plague tears through the crowded streets, leaving a trail of death and devastation in its wake. Hospitals overflow, mass graves are dug, the stench of death permeates the air. Justinian, the emperor who dreamed of restoring the Roman Empire to its former glory, is confronted with a nightmare. His ambitious military campaigns grind to a halt as soldiers succumb to the invisible enemy. The plague, it seems, cares nothing for imperial ambition. The very fabric of society begins to unravel. Trade collapses, taxes go uncollected, and lawlessness spreads. Justinian, a man accustomed to issuing commands, finds himself powerless against an enemy he cannot see or defeat. His reign, once marked by conquest and grandeur, becomes synonymous with pestilence and death. The Plague of Justinian rages for years in waves of varying intensity. It's impossible to know the true death toll, but historians estimate that between 25 and 50 million people perished, perhaps half the population of the Byzantine Empire. The world was forever changed. Justinian's ambitious dream of imperial restoration lies in ruins. The empire, weakened and demoralized, is left vulnerable to future threats. The plague marks a turning point in Byzantine history, a shadow forever cast over its golden age. The Plague of Justinian serves as a chilling reminder of the power of disease to reshape civilizations. Centuries later, the Black Death would plunge Europe into a similar abyss, a grim echo of Justinian's nightmare. These pandemics, though separated by time, stand as stark warnings from the past, reminding us of the fragility of human existence in the face of nature's wrath.